Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. All right, let's talk Saints. Saints and Cardinals tomorrow in the preseason opener. These games, you're not really sure what to make of them for the most part. Like, I think my gut tells me it's a lot of inconsequential football with guys who aren't going to be on the team or never make an impact. But there's a chance that there are some things we want to watch. And so I'm not going to completely wave my hand at it. I'll look at four things that I'm kind of looking at. It starts with the offensive line needs to play. Okay? The offensive line stunk last year. It was terrible. They were signing guys off the street, plugging them in here and there. It was an abomination. You've got a rookie left tackle who's never played in the NFL, and you've got a right tackle who needs to play. Holding Trevor Penning out in the thought that he might get injured is a complete waste of everyone's time. If Trevor Penning gets injured and he's not the starting right tackle, he may not be the starting right tackle if he's healthy. So you got to figure out if he can do it. So I see no possible reason to sit Trevor Penning tomorrow. Sure, you want to sit Aaron Rodgers tomorrow? Fine. You think Mahomes can sit out the first preseason game? Travis Kelce? Sure. Trevor Penning, put on some pads and go play. Good or bad, you need to see it. These reps to me are important. I think probably more important than day-to-day reps in practice. Like, this is playing against a guy trying to win a job. Like, send him out there. And I don't think that Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz are exactly above playing in the preseason. These tackles that haven't played very much need to work with the guys who are veterans on the inside who know what they're doing. You don't even know who your left guard is. So they need to play the offensive line tomorrow. If they don't, that's weak. It needs to happen. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to see some Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm ready to see. Like, we don't know what Marshawn Lattimore's health situation is. I think they're going to sign Paulson Adebo to an extension here, but he's coming up on the last year of his contract. Alontae Taylor's playing in the slot. Like, this is a guy you moved up to get, second round. I want to see him play, and I want to understand where the depth in that secondary is and just how expendable Marshawn Lattimore might be. Now, certainly, I'm not insinuating that I can figure out in the entirety of Kool-Aid McKinstry's worth in one game in a preseason setting tomorrow. But I do want to watch him play, and I'm curious to see how that goes. Wide receivers. I got a feeling you're not going to see any Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed tomorrow. That means everybody out there is fighting for a roster spot, by my estimation. Mason Tipton, Cedric Wilson, A.T. Perry, like whoever's out there, whoever's healthy, like everyone is out there fighting for a job. We figure the Saints will keep 5 wideouts. You wouldn't figure 6 would be the number. 5, assuming somebody can play special teams. And I think everybody beyond the first 2 is kind of lumped into a big group. So I'd like to see literally everybody that's playing wide receiver. You're not even going to have to wade through anything and wait for somebody to come out so that anybody can come in. Every rep by a wide receiver in tomorrow's game impacts who's going to make the roster. And I'm curious to see how that fits together. And then the last one is more big picture. Like, I'm talking individual players here with the first 3. I'm talking Penning. I'm talking Fuaga. I'm talking Kool-Aid. I'm talking all these receivers I just went through. This last piece is just, it's more big picture stuff. Like, what does the offense look like? I was talking to Ross Jackson earlier today, host of the Locked On Saints podcast, and he's going to do some writing for us at LouisianaSports.net, and he'll be at the game tomorrow. And I was talking to him about, like, what he's seen in practices and kind of some of the things he wants to write about in regards to the new look of this offense. And you're going to see more motions. You're going to see more play action. You're going to see wide runs and wide zone runs that set up the opportunity for bootlegs and play actions that are a little bit slower developing but can create some bigger plays. Like, these are all things that weren't necessarily pillars of the Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Pete Carmichael offense. It's going to look different. And I think most of us who watch football day in and day out, every Sunday, every Saturday, if you're talking college, most of us have an elementary understanding of the game. You're not getting into too much of two-gap schemes and who's the shade and who's the five technique and what the levels of the read are and all that kind of stuff. Like, you may have heard that, but you're not necessarily looking at it when you watch the game. You can see motions and understand that that's moving the defense. You can see some changes in the running game. Like, I think there will be changes big enough so those of us who just watch the game on a rudimentary level will notice it. And I'm curious to sit back and watch all of that. Again, I understand entering this game on Saturday that very little of what goes on is going to impact weeks 1 through 17, weeks 1 through 18 of the season. But there are some things in the course of trying to right this organization that we'll get a look at. We don't get to go to camp. They pretty much lock all the cameras out. So we can see this offense for the first time. We can see Taliese Fuaga for the first time. We can see the backup quarterbacks, which is probably on everybody's list here, and thought it was a little obvious to bring forward here. We can see if Mason Tipton's making some plays, or if A.T. Perry shows that athleticism. We can see if Kool-Aid McKinstry gets his hand on a couple of footballs. I'm curious to take a look at that. We'll certainly do so tomorrow. Saints and Cardinals tomorrow evening from out in the Valley of the Sun. We'll be talking about it a lot more in depth coming up on Monday's show. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.